Mr. Dyson, can we switch gears, but also in 2020? So Mayor Pete was a hot topic and continues to be on the show, specifically because he has serious problems with African-American voters. Statistically, around 0%, which in a margin of error could mean -4%, with black voters far below President Trump. It is a really big blind spot for him. Do you think he can get past this? And the question I continue to have is the Democratic Party willing to gamble on a coalition that is so important and so strong in a general election, specifically black women, with a candidate who, you know, is negligible when it comes to his support with African-American voters?
That's just like brilliantly stated. And the thing is, you know, there's always the chase in the Democratic Party for the phantom white voter who will return. They don't like you, they don't dig you, get over it. What you got to do is dance with the one that brung you. I'm not saying to dismiss white people, right? There are many white people who are in the fold. But to chase after an ideal that you think you need to procure while the reality is staring in your face. Black women have saved this country. They voted in extraordinary numbers in the Alabama special election. They vote for Democrats consistently. Obama had like 98%. Hillary Clinton in the 90s. Black women have been on the front line doing the right thing, and to really capitulate to this phantom voter is one thing. Now, to answer the question, Mayor Pete could overcome. What I like about him, though, is the fact that when he was scathingly rebuked by a black reporter, he picked up the phone and called him.
He did.
Right? And he engaged that, right? Now, we know there's some troublesome aspects. All during his administration, no black people got contracts and stuff. So it's not just a physical, psychological thing. It's also structural. What is the money distribution like? How are you making justice a reality in terms of who you give money to? But having said that, I do like his openness. I like his ability to be self-critical and introspective. Hey, I got that wrong. Let me try to do that right. So if we could join Mayor Pete with Joe Biden and some Kamala Harris and Corey and hook up with Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, we'd have a hell of a party.
Right? I mean,
we would.
And he's smart.
He's a smart guy. And let me tell you what he has.
They could all be in the cabinet.
I think part of the problem, though, is when you're starting from zero. I mean, you know, how far can he really go at this point? But in your opinion, who is the strongest candidate?
Well, I think there are a few. I mean, look, I like Brother Castro. I like what he does. I like what he says. I like Elizabeth Warren. I mean, you know, I'm a professor. She's a professor. Let's give some professors some love out here. But, you know, you can laugh and say she got a plan for it, but it's better than not having a plan.
That's right.
It's better than being an improvisational fool who has no conception of democracy and is in charge of the government. Right?
Right on.
And let me tell you something else. What I also like about Mayor Pete, to get back to him, he could have exploited the fact that they were trying to say black people were more homophobic than anybody else, and that's why they resisted him. It is true that black people in a Christian religion believe what the Bible says as they interpret it. They're no more homophobic than anybody else. But there's another aspect here. Black people had their normal heterosexuality queered. Right? When you come to this country and they're looking at your breasts and your testicles on a slave auction block, that ain't normal. So already black people are hypersensitive. Hey, don't do anything to make us the subject of even more scrutiny. So if you explain the homophobia there, both religiously and culturally, you can understand what's going on. Mayor Pete is a gay guy doesn't mean he's automatically sensitive to what black people do. Black people who have been victims of oppression are not necessarily understanding of what happens among gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual people, except if they're people of color. So what I liked about it, he didn't try to exploit that to his advantage. We cannot have an oppression derby. I'm more, you know, beat upon than you. I'm more hated upon than you. Let's understand the degree to which being gay and transgender in this country and being black in this country and a person of color has its own demerits among many people, and we have to fight on a united front.